Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to UCO for the spring semester. I'm Dr. Mike Breslin. I'm your professor for the Data Analysis and Communications course. Want to just shoot you a quick video welcome for the course overall. Also, as I mentioned in my email to you earlier this week, I will be reaching out to you once a week as a rule, usually at the beginning of the week, either by video or email, just to touch base on what what you need to be focused on and working on for that week. In other words, kind of just be briefly going over the syllabus schedule for that week. Doing it a little bit differently for this week and next week. Since I was late in getting this video out for week 1, and because next week we're closed on Monday because of the Martin Luther King holiday, I'm going to make this a combination video for both this week and next week. Okay. So first thing I want to do is just talk to you about some of the things that you need to do first this week, and I've already communicated a good part of them to you. Just as I look at my cheat notes here, obviously you need to read the syllabus, and then you need to read everything in the orientation materials module that's on D2L content, and then you need to read chapters 1 and 2 of the Wrench et al. Textbook. Then a few other things you need to do. Number 1, if you downloaded a copy of the syllabus that I posted up earlier this week, I just had to update it. Every 99.9% of it is exactly the same. However, you'll notice on the schedule for week 1, one of the things you have to do is download the SPSS software that you'll be using in this class, using the instructions and the link that are on page 3 of the syllabus. And I just discovered this morning that link is broken. So I went in, I fixed the link, I modified the instructions a little bit, and so if you've downloaded the syllabus already, please download a new copy. That way you'll have the link on page 3 that'll work, so you can get that SPSS software that you'll need. And then for this week, you have part 1 of a discussion assignment. So the way discussion assignments work in this class, when we have them, we don't have them every week, but when we do, they're actually a 2-week affair. Week 1, you start a thread. In other words, you post a comment based on whatever the topic is in the appropriate place in D2L, under the D2L activities tab. Then the following week, per the instructions, you reply to the posts, to the threads that were started by other students in the class. Okay, so each assignment, it's a 2-parter, takes place over 2 weeks. Okay. Reason I do it that way is it just makes it easier, because sometimes, some students, for the first part, the post, the starting of their thread, some students get it done right away. Others wait until later in the week. And by doing it this way, it makes sure that by the time you have to start doing your replies, all the other students should have had their posts up, so you've got the maximum number to choose from. Let's see, what else? All assignments in this class, and this is noted on the syllabus, whenever assignments are due for a given week, they're due before midnight the following Monday. So for example, for week 1 assignments, they're due before midnight this Monday the 19th. Week 2 assignments would be due by the following Monday, January 26th, before midnight, and so on, okay? Now, for next week, you're going to read chapters 1 and 2 of the Kronk textbook, and actually along with the preface. I will tell you, the Kronk textbook is it is the best textbook I've ever seen for teaching people how to use SPSS, because it assumes you know nothing. Now, some of you may have had experience with SPSS, and if so, that's great. But this book assumes you know nothing. It starts from scratch, and it's really clear and easy to understand. Honestly, it's almost more of a workbook than a textbook, and it's great. One thing I would point out is, as you go through the course, in the syllabus schedule over in the far right column, it tells you what assignments are due that week. Please note that a lot of times, especially in the Kronk book, you have assignments you have to do, but you do not submit them. For example, next week, week 2, when you read Kronk, the preface to Kronk, and then chapters 1 and 2, your assignment is to do all the practice exercises in chapters 1 and 2. Just do them. You don't have to submit them. Now, when you're doing assignments that you don't have to submit, if you run into problems and have questions, by all means, reach out to me. And by the way, that's kind of a blanket rule for the course overall. Just because it's online doesn't mean you're on your own. Anytime you have any questions, problems, or concerns, drop me an email. And I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good about getting back to people on email within 24 hours, if not a lot sooner. So just be aware of that. Oh, by the way, I should point out in addition to more kind of practical things you have to do this week, each week there are certain topics we cover. So this week it's introductions to communications research, basically preliminary beginning type stuff, and then some background on empirical research. Next week, the focus will be getting you started in SPSS, which that'll take place by reading the first 2 chapters of the Cronk book and doing those practice exercises which you don't submit. I think that's everything for this week and next. Given that I'm doing this for both weeks, I won't be sending out a overview video or email next week, but I'll pick it up at the beginning of week 3. In the interim, any questions, any problems, drop me a line. Looking forward to working with you all this semester and hope you're having a good week 1.